You don't miss them the way you think you do. That's the part no one ever says out loud. It's late, the room is quiet, your phone is face down, and somehow they're still here with you, not as a person, as a present. You tell yourself you should be past this by now. Enough time has passed, enough nights, enough on fine conversations. But your mind keeps circling back, like it's protecting something or waiting for something, and you wonder why you can't just move on. Here's what's unsettling. You're not stuck because you love too deeply. You're stuck because something never finished speaking inside you. You replay moments that didn't even seem important at the time. A look, a pause, a sentence that landed wrong, a moment you almost said something. Your mind zooms in on those fragments, not because they mattered then, but because they still feel unfinished now, at night especially, when there's nothing to distract you, no noise to drown it out. That's when the conversations start, the ones that never happened, the ones that feel so real your chest tightens. You imagine saying the perfect sentence, the calm one, the clear one, the one that finally explains everything, and in your imagination they finally understand. They nod, they soften, they say the thing you needed to hear. Your body reacts as if it actually happened. A small release, then silence, until it starts again. You don't keep going back because you want them back. That's the lie you keep telling yourself. You go back because your mind is trying to resolve something that never got resolved. There was no clean ending, no emotional punctuation, just an abrupt stop. Your nervous system hates abrupt stops. It wants continuity, closure, a sense of safety. So it keeps running simulations, different versions, different outcomes. What if I had said this instead? What if I waited? What if I left sooner? What if I didn't leave at all? Each question feels like it might be the last one. Like this could finally be the thought that lets you rest. But it never is. Because the real reason you can't move on isn't about them. It's about the version of you that never got to finish becoming something. There was a future you quietly built in your head, not dramatic. Not obsessive, just assumed. Little expectations you didn't even realize you had. Shared mornings, familiar silence, being known without explaining. When that future disappeared, no one acknowledged it. Not even you. You lost something invisible. And invisible losses don't get funerals. So your mind keeps visiting the past, not to relive it, but to prove that the loss was real, that it mattered, that you mattered. There's also this part you rarely admit, even to yourself. Moving on feels like agreeing with what happened. It feels like saying, yes, that was acceptable. And something in you refuses to say that, because there were moments you swallowed your truth. Times you were smaller than you should have been. Times you waited to be chosen instead of choosing yourself. Letting go feels like erasing the evidence, so you hold on, not to them, but to the meaning of what you went through. At night, your thoughts get heavier, slower, more honest. You think about the future and feel a quiet fear. What if this pattern repeats? What if you missed your chance? What if you're always the one who feels more? Your mind jumps forward in time. Imaginary loneliness. Imaginary conversations with people who haven't even entered your life yet. Your body responds to futures that don't exist. Tight chest, shallow breath, a sense of being behind. And then, without warning, your mind pulls you backward again. Back to the one moment that still hurts. Back to the one sentence that changed everything. Your mind isn't punishing you. It's trying to protect you. It believes if it understands everything perfectly, you'll never be hurt like that again. So it analyzes, replays, dissects. But understanding isn't the same as safety, and deep down you know that. That's why you're tired, not physically tired, emotionally exhausted, tired of carrying stories that don't have endings, tired of holding conversations alone, tired of explaining something to someone who isn't there. There's a quiet grief in realizing no amount of thinking will change the past. But there's also a relief in that truth. Because if thinking didn't cause this, thinking can't fix it either. You didn't fail at moving on. You stayed loyal to something inside you that needed more time. And maybe tonight, for the first time, you don't have to force yourself to let go. You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to rewrite the story one more time. You can just notice how tired you are. Notice how long you've been holding your breath emotionally. And maybe allow this thought to settle gently. That the reason you can't move on isn't because you're weak or stuck or broken. It's because something meaningful ended without being witnessed, and tonight you're finally witnessing it yourself. No fixing, no judging. Just acknowledging the truth quietly, that it mattered. And you mattered, and somehow that's enough to let the room feel a little quieter.